Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Cover Zero podcast, the show where I cover the least in the best way possible. I'm your host, Jason Wells. Today is Friday, October 3rd. Usually I always say, it's another good week of football on hand, but it's an okay week. With all of the injuries that have happened, some of these matchups have definitely taken a hit, where matchups like the Ravens versus the Texans and the Lions versus the Bengals, where in the summer those would have been like marquee matchups, gotta see those games. Not this week. I honestly think that the number one thing is Dylan Gabriel making his debut in London against the Vikings. Yeah, again, any week of NFL football is a great week, and we will miss these weeks come the off season like we always do. But it's not. I mean, the Sunday night game should be interesting with Josh Allen and Drake May. The Monday night game should be pretty good with Kansas City and the Jags. I'm very interested to see how the Jags do in that one. But we'll talk about all of these games when we talk about them, because obviously this is the Week 5 preview. Also, NFL Weekly Update, Blind Thursday Night Football Recap. As always, it's going to be a good show. I guess we'll just get right into NFL Weekly Update. So, not a ton to really go over, but we do have a couple retirements to start off with. Shaquille Leonard retires from the league officially. Honestly, incredible career for how short it was. Defensive Rookie of the Year, 4-time All-Pro. Only a 7-year career, and really only 4 of those were fully healthy. Shaq Leonard was absolutely one of the best linebackers that we have seen this generation. It just sucks that his peak was 4 years. He came into the league. He was a rocket ship. He was doing everything for that Colts defense, and then a major neck injury sets him back. And yeah, neck injuries are obviously really scary, but no, Shaq Leonard, regardless, was an incredible player. Will definitely be a nominee for the Hall of Very Good at some point. It's too bad having careers shortened like that by injuries. You never like to see it, but Shaq Leonard, regardless, albeit a short career, was very, very good. Another retirement here. Xavier Howard retires after getting absolutely cooked by Puka Nacua last week. If you don't know, Puka Nacua went off for 170 yards, 13 catches. Most of that was against Xavier Howard. And yeah, there's a reason Xavier Howard hasn't been in the league for the last couple of years, because he's washed. He also sent revenge porn to a minor, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, that should be a reason why he never got signed in the first place. Regardless, Xavier Howard, obviously I have my thoughts about all of his off-field stuff, but he was a big part of Miami's defense for his entire tenure there. He was a very good corner. Now his off-field stuff makes me like him. I mean, makes me not like him, really, but yeah, he had a couple very, very good years. He was a ball-hawking corner. I'm assuming he made a couple All-Pros, definitely some Pro Bowls. And he was a very good player back in his day. It's just unfortunate he's not a great person off the field. And this is where I normally say he's probably a Hall of Very Good nominee. It's my Hall. I can take into account all the off-field stuff that I want, and I don't know if Xavier Howard's really going to make the cut. So, good riddance. We can keep going. The Browns have traded for Cam Robinson from the Texans. It was basically a 2027 late pick swap. So it was basically the Texans giving away Cam Robinson for free. And I had some Browns fans being like, how good is Cam Robinson? The Texans' offensive line is very bad. They felt that they did not need Cam Robinson. That's all you really need to know. This is now the second move or second player that the Texans have cut or traded away that they acquired this offseason, the other one being C.J. Gardner-Johnson, of course. And yeah, they paid C.J. Gardner-Johnson $7.3 million to play in 3 games. They paid Cam Robinson $9.4 million to play in 1 game. No idea what GM Nick Caserio is really doing there, but yeah, it's a nothing move. I'm going to mention it, and really the only reason it needed to be mentioned because the Texans have spent $16 million on these 2 players, and both of them are gone before we hit October. Little weird, but yeah, we'll see what the Texans' offensive line can really do. Probably nothing. And we'll keep going here. Couple small signings. Speaking of one of the guys that the Texans got rid of, but this was an earlier trade, and then the Eagles got rid of him. But Kenyon Green, the former first-round pick, signs with the Ravens. Obviously, the Ravens very, very banged up at the moment. So, yeah, added depth. I don't think this really matters, but again, former first-round pick. He'll keep getting signed by teams at least for... this might be his last year. Who would be kidding? But yeah, Kenyon Green, former first-round pick, back on the Ravens. The Miami Dolphins have waived cornerback Cam Smith, a 2023 second-round pick out of South Carolina. Like, literally amounted to nothing. And people, like, he didn't even, like, play. He didn't even play in games for us. He was hurt a bunch. Fresh start for him, hopefully somewhere. But this also says waived, not cut, where, to me, the distinction is waived means that if no one claims him off waivers, Miami might put him on our practice squad. I have no idea, though. Again, and I have no idea what's happening with Cam Smith behind the scenes in practice, what's actually happening. But I thought Cam Smith was like a pretty good corner and like might be able to start eventually, and he hasn't even been able to like make the 53-man roster. So, yeah, another drafting masterclass by Chris Greer. A sad note here, unfortunately, but Pat's defensive coordinator, Terrell Williams, unfortunately has been diagnosed with prostate cancer. That's why he's been away from the team for the last few weeks. Obviously, you never want to hear that. It's terrible news, and obviously everyone will rally around him, but yeah, sending nothing but positive thoughts his way, and hopefully he does get better. And then final note here, the NFL has announced the 2026 halftime show, and it is Bad Bunny. If you don't know Bad Bunny, that's fine. I don't really know Bad Bunny either, and that's just because I don't really listen to music. That's not even a shot at Bad Bunny, but Bad Bunny sounds like he has some bangers, none of them in English. That's not a problem with me. Big problem with a lot of people online that, oh, it's American. How is he not speaking English? It's just like, you know, the meme of like the guy taking a selfie with his sunglasses in his like truck. Those are all of the people that are mad about this, who want Aerosmith or Metallica playing. And again, Metallica would fucking rock at a Super Bowl halftime show. But yeah, Bad Bunny's one of the most popular artists on the planet right now. I mean, he's cameoed in a bunch of movies, seems like a funny guy. I'm assuming he's going to have a lot of like featuring artists coming up and performing with him. Like, to me, the Super Bowl there's the Super Bowl where there's the actual game aspect and the things that I care about, and then there's halftime, which draws in the other like 50% of the crowd that literally just want to watch the halftime show. And that's okay with me. The NFL is a business. The NFL is trying to get as many eyes on them as possible. Having one of the biggest international artists perform during your event, yeah, that's going to get a lot more eyes that, yeah, like a Metallica, like, I'm trying to think of like a Bruce Springsteen or something. Like, it doesn't have the same juice. People want to argue that it does. It absolutely does not. So, Bad Bunny, halftime show. That's it for the NFL Weekly Update. Let's get to this blind Thursday night football recap. Niners at Rams. Thursday night football matchups. Always weird. You tack on a divisional matchup on top of that. Extra weird. And to make matters even worse, the Niners are absolutely so injured at the moment. Half of their team is basically on IR. The starting offense for the Niners in this one, the offensive line, good. Christian McCaffrey, good. And then at quarterback, Mac Jones. Wide receiver, Demarcus Robinson, Sky Moore, Marcus Valdez-Scantling. Tight end, Jake Tongas, who hasn't been bad, but again, this was essentially the Niners B squad going against this very good Rams team, and I give the Niners a lot of credit. They made this game a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. This felt like a blowout early. Matt Stafford, Puka doing their thing, running the ball really, really well, and then the second half, Niners defense stepped up a little bit. Shout out to rookie Mykel Williams making a few big plays in this one. Fred Warner, as always, one of the best linebackers of the past decade, continues to do his thing. And then, Mac Jones. You can see why Kyle Shanahan wanted Mac Jones over someone like Trey Lance. But then we wouldn't have got Brock Purdy, and again, the rest is history. But Mac Jones continues to play well. I think he'll probably be a starter at this point next year. And shout out to Demarcus Robinson. Out of nowhere, one of these receivers had to do something for this team, but he had a 100-yard game. At the end, though, again, Niners kept it closer, but final score, Rams 24, Niners 20. That is your blind Thursday Night Football recap. Okay, let's get into the rest of the Week 5 preview here, starting off with the Vikings and Browns in London. Vikings minus 3.5. Total set at 33.5. That's not a 33.5 is the total. That is one of the lowest totals in a while anyways. I think I remember some totals last year being around 28. That might have been college and that might have just been Iowa, but 33.5 is a ridiculous, ridiculous low total. And it makes a ton of sense. The Cleveland defense, Myles Garrett, kind of all I need to say. But that Cleveland defense is very good. They have a lot of players. They're playing very, very well right now. And the Vikings defense also playing very well. And they have a madman in Brian Flores who loves to go against rookie quarterbacks. He puts rookie QBs in a blender, and I expect him to do the exact same against Dylan Gabriel. Very, very tough matchup for the rookie. But do I think this gives the Browns a bit of a spark? Sure, just because Joe Flacco is bad at this point. But I don't know. The Vikings are just the better team. This will come down to what defense can make. What defense can make fewer mistakes? I was going to say lesser or less than, but whatever. What defense can make fewer mistakes in this one? Because I think both defenses will play very, very well, obviously. But I think it just takes a couple drives, a couple big plays for one team to really pull ahead. Because, Myles Garrett going against this banged-up Vikings offensive line and Carson Wentz, that sounds like easy pickings. The Vikings defense going against the Browns offense and a rookie QB, sounds like easy pickings. Again, it'll come down to what offense can make the one or two plays in this game that matters. And that's really what it'll be. It'll be one or two plays that really define what happens in this game. I'm making this game sound way more important than it's going to be. This is going to be a very boring London game. I think I can keep moving on. I don't think I have anything really else to say. It's going to be a defensive matchup, so we'll keep going. Cowboys at Jets. Cowboys minus 2.5. Total set at 47.5. The Jets have been obviously not good at all this year, 0-4 now. And the Cowboys are coming off an emotional, dramatic tie. Obviously, they would have liked it to be a win, but it is what it is. And I think I might pick the Jets. Jets at home as a home dog. I do. To me, with the Jets, their defense has obviously not been good. I don't think Steve Wilks is a good coordinator. I think Steve Wilks does what Steve Wilks wants to do and doesn't adjust. Where, again, Aaron Glenn, the head coach, but a defensive-minded head coach, should be putting his foot down more and maybe not taking over play-calling duties, but to be let's ease off on some of these scheme decisions. I think they run man a lot of the time. Let's maybe just step off the man stuff just a little bit and let your defense play a little more wild. I don't know. The Cowboys offense has been great so far to start the year. Number one offense in the league, worst defense in the league. It makes sense, but this feels like a game. Again, the Jets' whole thing is they want to play smash mouth football, do their thing, and they just need to get ahead of the game script early. They need to run the ball down their throats to start, score some touchdowns, and have a few key stops on the Cowboys as well to continue to do what they want to do. It'll be tough. I do think, again, the Cowboys are coming off a super, super emotional game. The revenge game against Micah Parsons and yada, 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 all that. Where, yeah, this feels like kind of a down week. I did not expect the Cowboys to look that good against the Packers last week, and they absolutely shut me up. But I am not expecting back-to-back excellent performances from George Pickens. Again, as much as I love Pickens, he was my number one receiver in that 2022 draft. I know who George Pickens is, and he's not a consistent guy. I can say that. But nothing about the Jets is ever consistent. So, I don't know. I want to lean the Jets in this one just because I feel like they're due. And that's probably shitty reasoning, but yeah, I guess I'll lean towards the Jets anyways, but again, it's not a great slate. Broncos at Eagles. Eagles minus 3.5. Total set at 43.5. Again, the Broncos coming off a big, big win. The offense looked great. Bo Nix played great. Put that in air quotes. The run game got going. The defense is the defense. Everything. Oh, it's so good. But now, you play a real team again. I can guarantee you that Bo Nix looks like shit again. However, the Eagles have not been a good team. Yes, they're 4-0 this year, but what was the stat that I saw? It was something like their defense has allowed more yards, or it was some stat where they're middle in the pack in both, and if you're middle in the pack of both, usually you're not a 4-0 team. But here the Eagles are. The Eagles' offense has looked incredibly inconsistent and incoherent, and they don't know what to do half the time. We have seen 4 quarters of them running a good functional offense, and the passing attack looks good, and then the other 12 quarters have been abysmal garbage football. The defense has looked better, and yeah, the defense will have their hands full. This offensive line is still really good, but again, they're going against Bo Nix, and I think that they should be able to cook relatively easily. And again, this Eagles offense has a very tough test against the Broncos. Should the Eagles win? Absolutely. Would I be shocked if the Broncos come away with a win in this one? No, I wouldn't be. The Broncos, again, I do love the Broncos defense. The Broncos offense does have nice pieces. That offensive line is really good. It's just whether or not Bo Nix can outplay Jalen Hurts, and he shouldn't be able to do that. But yeah, I don't know. It's what average QB wants to be slightly better than what my own opinion is anyways. But avoiding this game in general. We'll keep going. Texans at Ravens. Texans minus 1.5. Total set at 40.5. Yeah, the Ravens are, again, like the Niners, one of the most hurt teams in the league right now. No Lamar for them in this one. No Ronnie Stanley. No Roquan Smith. No Marlon Humphrey. No Jair Alexander. The list goes on and on and on and on. They're very, very hurt at the moment. Texans on the other side. Their defense is absolutely elite and is the only reason why the Texans have been in any of their games so far this year. And this Texans offense now is going against one of the worst defenses in the league. So, which will give way first? Will it be the incredibly movable object of the Baltimore Ravens, or will it be the stoppable force of the Texans offense? I have no idea. I would like to think that the Texans offense can do some things because they do have Nico Collins. Woody Marks looks better than Nick Chubb anyways. That's all I can really say. The offensive line is absolutely terrible, but they're going against a really bad defense. So I don't know. I'm picking the Texans in this one because the Texans defense has to go against Cooper Rush. If this was Texans defense versus Lamar and then the Texans offense versus the Ravens defense, it's a lot more even of a matchup. But when you get the Texans defense versus Cooper Rush, and then the Texans offense versus a really bad Ravens defense, like, I do give the edge to the Texans. There's a reason why they're slight favorites in this one. Again, a game where in August we all thought that this game was going to be much, much better to watch, and unfortunately for us, absolutely not. I will go with the Texans in this one. Again, a Cooper Rush-led Ravens team going against one of the best defenses in the league. Not a lot of high hopes in this one, and maybe the Ravens defense can have a little bit of a pop versus, again, the shitty Texans offense and their offensive line. I would hope so anyways, but I guess we'll see. Giants at Saints. Giants minus 1.5. Total set at 41.5. Another stinker of a game. Spencer Rattler looking for his first win of his NFL career. We'll see if he gets it in this one. No Malik Neighbors, obviously, for the Giants now. Again, another shitty game, relatively anyways, but I give the edge to the Giants just because the Giants have guys like Abdul Carter, Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau. That's all I really need to say. Those four guys rushing the quarterback will get after them. The Saints offensive line hasn't been great. I'm interested to see what rookie Kelvin Banks looks like against this pass rush. How Tali Fuago holds up as well. Again, it'll be interesting. Jackson Dart in his second start against a not great Saints defense, and we'll see how the Saints can adjust. But what I saw from Dart last week, it wasn't great. Literally the only reason why I'm picking the Giants in this one is because they have those four guys that I named. And yeah, I think that they're going to, again, they're not going to kill the Saints. This game should remain relatively close. I think the Saints have been playing like okay football, but like okay football is the best that they can play, like really. So yeah, I'm giving my edge to the Giants just because they're the more talented team, at least in my opinion anyways. We can keep going. Raiders at Colts. Colts minus 6.5. Total set at 47.5. Ashton Jeanty, the monster game last week, and I think he's just going to be right back down to earth, unfortunately. Raiders left tackle Colton Miller. They were hoping it was just a high ankle sprain. X-rays came back. Turns out he has a hairline fracture. He goes on IR. Will be out for a while anyways. And yeah, that really, really, really bad Raiders offensive line just got much, much worse. And yeah, the Colts defense, good. The Colts offense, good. The Raiders offense, not that good. The Raiders defense, really bad outside of Max Crosby. So yeah, the Colts are going to win this one easy. I don't have a lot to really say. I would hope that Geno Smith kind of gets his shit together and starts playing like the top 20 to 10 QB he can realistically be, and we've seen him play at before. But yeah, I severely doubt it. I think that the Colts are the better roster, the better coach team, the better just put together team. This should be an easy win for them. There is literally there's no reason why the Raiders should win this one in my opinion. And these are the games where when I say that and I think, this is 100% lock, of course the Raiders are going to do something. Geno Smith is going to play absurd football, and Bowers is finally going to get going, and Jacoby Myers is going to get involved, and Ashton Jeanty will get involved in the passing game more or something. I have no idea, but the Colts are going to win this one. The Colts are going to be 4-1 heading into week 6. Almost guarantee that anyways. Next game up here, Dolphins at Panthers. Dolphins minus 1.5. Total set at 44.5. The battle of two teams that absolutely stink. From Miami's perspective, I am excited to see what our offense looks like without Tyreek Hill. It's just, it's a fuck Tyreek Hill thing, and yeah, let Jalen Waddle be the number one receiver for this team. Let's get Malik Washington reps. Let's get Nick Westbrook-Akine out there. Let's see more of Darren Waller after his fucking 2 TD performance out of nowhere. Maybe we get Achane in the slot a little bit more and Ollie Gordon in the backfield. I don't know, McDaniel. Let's get weird. Try to save your job. Let's have a functioning, real NFL offense for the first time in your tenure. Oh, that's a lot of dog hair. Regardless, that's what I want to see for the Dolphins. I want to see a balanced offense. I want to see new concepts and schemes out there that haven't been the same old, and we should be able to do it against the Panthers relatively easily, because you know what the Panthers are? They're shitty on defense. And you know what they also are? They're shitty on offense. Their offensive line is banged up. Chuba Hubbard is also banged up, but he should be good to go in this one. Tet McMillan is a stud, but Tet McMillan's their only guy right now. So if we cover Tet McMillan, they can't really move the ball right now. Again, this is the battle of the two middling Bama QBs who are struggling to save their jobs right now in the league. At least Tua got his payday. Can't say that about Bryce. And I still like Bryce Young. I think he does do nice things. His team is just complete ass, and that's not his fault. Yeah. Again, the Dolphins should win just because in a dude-off, we have many more dudes than the Panthers do. That's just a fact. Yeah, that's literally a fact. Because I think on, like, if I go, like, the Panthers have Derek Brown, they have J.C. Horn, they have Tet. That's where I cut off the list. Where Dolphins, on the other hand, we have Jalen Waddle, we have Devon Achane. See, but this is where I think my bias gets the better of me, because I am about to go like, oh, Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, Zach Seiler, Minkah Fitzpatrick, where I don't know if other people are calling Jalen Phillips or Bradley Chubb like a dude. And that's absolutely fair. So I might be wrong with that. I take it back. In a dude off, we're probably still even. I still think that we have the better players in general, but it is what it is. This is going to be a bad game. But this is another game where if the Dolphins lose this one, yeah. Fire Greer, fire McDaniel, fire everyone. It is what it is. Let's fucking restart, rebuild, go from step one again. Regardless, Panthers, if you win this one, nothing really changes. If you lose this one, nothing really changes. Panthers are in a really weird direction right now, and they have a lot of things to decide in the offseason. But regardless, that doesn't matter right now. Bucks at Seahawks. Seahawks minus 3.5. Total set at 44.5. This is the clash of the former Panthers backup QBs. We have Baker Mayfield versus Sam Darnold. Some people are even saying that the Panthers are a great QB development system. Can't wait to see where Bryce Young goes next, I guess. No, this is a matchup that like I'm very, very excited for in the NFC. Like this is a measuring stick game for the Seahawks, especially. I think that the Bucks anyways, I think I know what the Bucks are. The Bucks are a little banged up right now, obviously, but I think I know what they are at the end of the day and what they can do in the NFC general landscape, where the Seahawks, I have an idea of what they can do. I have, again, like if everything plays up, but this is a really good test for them. This is a very tough test. This Seahawks defense has been absolutely on fire so far to start the year, and now they're going against a hurt Bucks offensive line with no Bucky Irving this week, still no Mike Evans. This is their chance to really kind of put their foot on the gas and let it be known that, hey, we have a top 3 defense in this league. Watch out for us. Their offense on the other side will have a tough matchup. Like, let's be real, the Bucks defense is playing really well. Having Vita Vea just in the middle, clog up those run games. I'm not expecting a lot from Zach Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker. I usually rarely do, and if I'm doubting one guy, the other guy goes off, and I'm doubting the other guy, that guy goes off. The Seahawks backfield is so unpredictable at this point, but the Bucks defense is playing good football. Their young rookie corners, too, Jacob Parrish and Benjamin Morrison, I believe, have been playing good football, and that's kind of like the boost that this Bucks defense has needed is in their secondary. So yeah, again, I'm excited to see the Seahawks play against a team that I expect to be in the NFC Divisional, the NFC Championship, yada, 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 all that stuff. It's a good measuring stick game. This game also might have one of the best NFL uniform matchups in NFL history. The Seahawks are wearing their throwbacks of like the royal blue and the green. You know what I'm talking about. And the Bucks are wearing their creamsicle jerseys, but like the white version of that. I saw one guy like literally tweet out like, "Oh, this is going to be the best matchup, like uniform matchup ever," and people being like, "Oh yeah, I had AI render out what it's going to look like," and it's just a photo of these two teams in those jerseys from like the 1980s. The throwback jerseys, I think that every team's throwback jerseys are currently better than what they're wearing. I don't know why we tried to modernize everything, but I think that, and I think this is a thing across all sports. I think that every sports team's throwback jerseys are better than what they're currently wearing. Why teams ever went away from those, I have no idea. I mean, from a capitalist point of view, I completely get it because, yeah, new jerseys mean new jersey sales and keep it going. And if you change things up every few years, there's just more money, and that's what matters at the end of the day is money. Money absolutely is not the important thing, but for these NFL teams, for a lot of them, it is. And yeah, these throwback jerseys are absolutely incredible, so that will be the prettiest matchup. I honestly think this is the best matchup of the week regardless. Next game up here, the Titans at the Cardinals. Cardinals minus 7.5. Total set at 42.5. For very good reason. The Cardinals should absolutely win this one. I don't care if they don't have James Conner. I don't care if they don't have Trey Benson. It is Amari DiMercado, Michael Carter. They have another guy who they signed to, but I can't remember him. Those are their backs. I expect Marv in the passing attack maybe to get involved a little bit more. This Cardinals defense, I like Will Johnson will be back too, so he will just cover. I mean, he doesn't even really have to cover Calvin Ridley or Alec Iomaner. Yeah, the Titans fucking stink. It is what it is. I like the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are like a good team with a higher ceiling than what they're playing to anyways, but the Titans are really, really bad and really unmotivated at the moment. Brian Callahan needs to be fired. He does not have the pulse of this locker room. I saw a clip of him today and say that like, oh, we like Cam Ward, but like he has to, you know, like, no, like his words have like a lot of weight to them when he says things, and it's like, he was right. He is mad about the way that everyone is playing and the way that things are happening. He should have every right to be like, yeah, our team is fucking ass at the moment. Because they are, Brian. And you know why? It's because of you and your bad coaching. And your dad couldn't even save you. He was, the O-line whisperer and yada, yada, yada. No, your dad couldn't save your job. Again, Brian Callahan should get fired. This might be the game. This feels like a Cardinals minus 8.5. Again, the Texans shut them out last week, 26-0. And obviously the Cardinals defense isn't the Texans defense, but the Titans just stink. So, yeah, I think Cardinals minus 7.5, probably a pretty damn good pick. We'll keep going here. Commanders at the Chargers. Chargers minus 2.5. Total set at 48.5. Jaden Daniels set to come back from injury. I don't know about Terry McLaurin at this point. We will see. And yeah, the Chargers are banged up. No Joe Alt. No Rashawn Slater. That offensive line now looks really bad on paper. Does it matter? Absolutely not. The Commanders are not a good team. Again, Jaden Daniels can do his thing and he can carry and he can do all he wants. And like, again, Jaden Daniels is a top 10 quarterback in this league, in my opinion. But the roster stinks. Like, you're telling me that Von Miller and Preston Smith are going to get after Justin Herbert? Absolutely not. Justin Herbert's been pressured 50% of the time the last couple games, and he's managed to keep his team in the game. Now they're going against not great pass rushes, and he should have plenty more time to pick apart this weak-ass secondary. Marshawn Lattimore was not worth the investment that this team made in him with, I think it was like a third or a second round pick. It's just, the Commanders aren't good. They're not fooling me this year. I do think, again, that was one of my hot takes is, the Commanders are going to have a top 5 pick. And that might have been a little too hot, but top 10 pick, I think that's very likely. Chargers on the other side, yeah, they should be able to kind of do what they want. I think that the Chargers defense is good. Will the Commanders obviously have some plays? Yeah, but yeah, Justin Herbert throwing to Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnston, and Ladd McConkey. And yes, I put Ladd on the bottom for the reason, because right now Ladd is their number 3 receiver, which is crazy to say. I mean, QJ's had a tremendous breakout year. Keenan Allen is still Keenan Allen. And right now, Keenan Allen is 2 catches away from being the fastest player ever to reach 1,000 career receptions. That's absolutely nuts to me. And I know that Keenan Allen has had like a tremendous career, but like Keenan Allen has always been like people talk about Mike Evans that way, where it's like, well, he's never really been like a top 5 receiver. He's kind of been like a top 10 fringe-ish receiver his entire career. And that's Keenan Allen. And the fact that Keenan Allen will pass Marv Harrison Sr. this Sunday to reach 1,000 career catches, be the fastest one to ever do it, that's absolutely nuts to me. And Keenan Allen has had a tremendous, tremendous career. I don't know if it'll end up in the Hall of Fame, but he'll definitely end up in the Hall of Very Good at the end of the day. Keenan Allen does deserve his flowers, though. I think the Chargers roll in this one. We'll keep going. Lions at Bengals. Lions minus 10.5. Total set at 49.5. This spread should be Lions minus 20. The Bengals will not score. They will not stop the Lions. This game is going to be over after the first drive of the game. And that's not hyperbole either. They're going to wipe the floor with them. You want to talk another team that has no fight? The Bengals. And what a shock that where Brian Callahan came from was the Bengals. Because, Zach Taylor, also not a good coach. Zach Taylor has been saved by Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins doing absolutely crazy things on offense, because the rest of the team, absolutely dreadful. They do not have a single defensive starter worth mentioning other than Trey Hendrickson. And I don't know why Trey Hendrickson's on the team at this point. If you're Trey Hendrickson, I'm looking at my agent and I'm like, get me the fuck out of here, because his contract value is going lower and lower and lower as the year goes on. Because, Trey might be playing well, but he's part of one of the worst dysfunctional teams in the league, and his stats haven't been as impactful, at least on paper, than last year, where, I don't know, I would trade Trey Hendrickson for basically anything right now if I was the Bengals. Like, let's truly bottom out. Let's truly suck, and you can restart, rebuild. Again, everyone needs to be fired, but no, the Bengals have had one GM in the history of their franchise, and he's done a really bad job. Like, frankly, he's done a terrible job. And the Lions are the Lions. Their defense will tee off. Aiden Hutchinson, 10-sack performance probably in this one. Someone on the Lions is going to have a career day, whether it be David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jamison Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta. This might be like an Isaac TeSlaa gets a lot of reps games just to like get him out there, because the game will be over easily by halftime. The Bengals absolutely stink. This is the worst team in football by a mile right now. Hey, maybe Jamar Chase can have a couple good catches. Maybe. That's only if Jake Browning's accurate. And Jake Browning's not usually accurate. So, Lions are obviously going to win this one. On to Sunday Night Football now. Patriots at Bills. Bills minus 7.5. Total set at 49.5. I have some thoughts about this game. And luckily for me, I have a podcast to talk about them. The Bills, obviously, 4-0 in the year, have been playing very, very good football. Have looked like a very, very good football team as well. But last week against the Saints, they kind of do the thing that the Bills sometimes do, is they play down to their opponent, and usually it doesn't happen twice in a row, and the Bills still did win by 12 last week, but the Saints showed some things, and I have my concerns about this Bills defense in general. And this isn't to say, the Patriots offense, watch out. But the Patriots offense is better than the Saints, and it's more put together, it's more well thought out, and Drake May is just a stud. It is what it is. I don't like saying it just because it hurts me as a Dolphins fan, but Drake May is a stud. And Stephon Diggs revenge game. Ooh. But no, I expect the Patriots offense to put up some pretty decent numbers. I keep expecting and I keep saying, this is finally going to be the game that TreVeyon Henderson breaks out. This actually might be the game that TreVeyon Henderson breaks out. Again, don't trust me because I said it last week. I said it the week before. I'll probably say it next week if this doesn't happen again. But Travion Henderson does need to get more involved, and I think that this should be the game that they can do it. The Patriots defense on the other side is a pretty good unit. Christian Gonzalez kind of getting his feet back under him last game. Will have, again, the Bills don't really have a number one receiver that he can just shadow, so he can just stay on Keon Coleman and just take him away for the whole game. He can just stay on Dalton Kincaid, stay on Shakir, take him, again, regardless. The Bills will be down one weapon seemingly just because of Christian Gonzalez, and that might be putting too much pressure on Gonzo coming back from his injury, but I think he'll be fine. I think he's great. This might be a I think the Patriots are going to cover. I think the Bills are going to win, and I don't think this game is ever going to really be close, come down to the wire, the Patriots lead at any point kind of thing, but I think the Patriots do end up cover. I do think this game will be closer. I think it'll be relatively higher scoring, though. What's their total set at? Well, the total's set at 49, so no, the total is kind of bang on with what I think it'll be. I might actually think it's an under game then. Because, yeah, I could see this game being 27-21, 27-24, something like that anyways. Yeah, that over is obvious, or that total is obviously set at a very good market. Those were the two scores I just gave out. But I do think Pat's minus 7.5. I do think that's going to be the play for me in this one. Again, crazy for me to say. And then finally here, Monday Night Football, Chiefs at Jags. Chiefs minus 3.5. Total set at 46.5. This is a game where I actually don't know who I'm going to pick. I obviously really liked what the Chiefs did last week, and Xavier Worthy is back, and he obviously looks like their number one weapon, as he should. They still don't have a run game, but maybe Brashard Smith can do something. Who knows? But this Jags team has been playing really good football. You might be like, but Brian Thomas Jr. hasn't done anything. Trevor Lawrence still looks like Trevor Lawrence, and it's like, those things are true. But I think that BTJ is getting his shit together more. Trevor Lawrence is more just other people fucking him up more than himself fucking up, really. The run game has been good. The offensive line has been good. Again, this is one of these measuring stick games. I talked about the Seahawks and Bucks before, where we all know what the Chiefs are. We all know where the Chiefs are going to be come January. They'll be in the divisional game. They'll be fighting the Bills probably in the AFC Championship game. They're just a really good team. Now that they have Xavier Worthy back, this offense looks like a complete offense. The offensive line, I'm interested to see how they do against the Jags defensive line. There's good matchups in this one. The Jags defense has also been playing really well. But all this to say is we know what the Chiefs are. The Jags, we don't really know yet. And if the Jags come away on Monday Night Football in prime time under the bright lights and they beat the Chiefs, people will start to talk about the Jags a little bit differently than they were during the offseason, obviously. Liam Cohen has done a tremendous job so far with the Jags. Trayvon Walker, questionable to play, though, and that will hurt them. Apparently he had arthroscopic surgery on his wrist, and he still might play on Monday. Nuts to me, but good for you. That's a crazy freakish thing to be able to have surgery, even though it's very minor procedural surgery, obviously, but still be able to play a tackle football game 4 games later. Shout out to Trayvon Walker. No, this is a game that I am very excited for. I'm excited to see how the Jags look up against top tier competition. And even then, the Chiefs are still missing Rashee Rice. There's still a whole other level to this offense that we haven't seen yet. But yeah, a game that the Jags should do well anyways, but that's it. We have teams on bye this week, so not as many teams to talk about. Falcons, Bears, Packers, Steelers, all on bye this week. Yeah. Nothing else to really talk about. I have woodsman practice in around an hour that I will get to. The game tonight should be good, but obviously I've recapped that game already, so you already know what happens. Yeah. As always, yeah, I guess I'll end it here. As always, if you have liked this, please like, share, retweet, subscribe, tell all your friends, all that fun stuff, and until next time, peace.